Thanks for tuning in for another episode of VU Speaks, a Studio B short series here on the Vincent's campus in Davis Hall. I'm your host, Eric Hunter. Joining us today, we have Wyatt Wagler, a local dog aficionado. Wyatt, we'd like to ask you a few questions pertaining to your interest in dogs. First, tell me, what got you interested in dogs in the first place?
Well, actually, I was kind of born into it. My family has been raising dogs for about, I'd say, 7 to 8 years now. So I've just been around them all my entire life, and I've just loved them ever since we've had dogs. We have really we kind of really started whenever we had our first dog, Pongo, and so whenever we had Pongo, my family fell in love with him, and he actually bred with another dog, and we had puppies, and other people wanted to kind of buy him from us, so we kind of started into that business.
That's a great name for a dog. Bongo?
Pongo.
Pongo.
Yes.
Pongo, got it. Well, that's fantastic. Good to hear that you're very interested in the business. We understand that you've been running this business for a while, breeding these dogs. In your opinion, what would you say is the most difficult part of the business in particular?
Probably the most difficult part would probably be some of the customers, obviously, and then the second hardest would probably have to be keeping the females away from each other who are wanting to start to breed.
Okay. Could you elaborate more on that? What's so difficult about keeping the females away from each other?
Well, when they come into heat every season, it kind of just depends on the female, and everyone's different. And then whenever they start to come in heat, they get very aggressive because they do not want other females to take away their breeding rights or kick them out of the pack or whatnot. And when that happens, they start fighting. They get very, very aggressive, and everything is just really scary for everyone.
Wow. Have you ever had to break up a dog fight or anything like that? In
my lifetime, I've probably broken up around, I'd say, 4 or 5 dog fights.
Okay. Very interesting, very interesting. Bit of a 180 here. I'd like to ask you, what would you say is the most exciting part or your favorite part of the business, if you had to pick just one?
My favorite would probably have to be kind of watching them grow up, and from when they were born, they'd roll around and they don't really do much, but at around 5 to 4 weeks old, they are probably at their cutest, and I just absolutely love seeing all of them, and they're just a lot of fun.
That's adorable. You say after they're about 5 weeks old, you have to give them to a new family, typically. Has there ever been a dog in particular that it's just been more difficult to let go of or to see go to another family?
Whenever you're just in this kind of business for so long, I mean, there isn't really any more dog. I mean, not anymore at least. You kind of really attach to. I mean, if I kept a dog for maybe like 1 or 2 years possibly, but after like 4 or 5 weeks, there isn't really any attachment there, just because you've been really exposed to it. There's no really connection there.
Okay. Understandable. We understand that you really like dogs, seeing as your official title is a dog aficionado. I'd like to ask you, do you have a certain affinity for any other sort of animal, or do you own any other animals?
Well, actually, my father owns low-line cattle as well, though we breed, we sell, just like the same as dogs, but except, we don't eat dogs.
We don't eat the dogs. We don't eat the dogs. Absolutely not. Just the cows. Well, that's going to put a wrap on today's program. Thank you, Wyatt, for being on the program today.
Thank you.
This is VU Speaks, a Vincennes University broadcasting production, telling stories on campus and beyond. Stay tuned next week as we introduce you to another compelling profile. I'm Eric Hunter, and this has been VU Speaks.